A down dragon is a dead dragon. And a dumbed down live action adaptation of a modern animated classic is DOA, at least creatively. How to Train Your Dragon is a live action adaptation of the 2010 modern classic from DreamWorks Animation, where really the only returning character as far as any voice acting from that is Gerard Butler as Stoic. If you're unfamiliar with How to Train Your Dragon, you have the village of Berk, that is besieged by dragons, and, well, there is the hero Hiccup, this time played by Mason Thames, who was Finny in The Black Phone. His arm is mint, by the way. Something should have happened similar to what happened to the Grabber to basically the writer-director of this for what they fucking did, i.e. phone it the fuck in. If you get it, you get it. Okay, basically we have dragons, and there's this one black dragon, Night Fury, named Toothless, that Hiccup ends up befriending, and they must save the world from, well, a big alpha dragon by banding other dragons together using the power of fire and friendship. Also, there's a love interest named Astrid, not played by America Ferrera in this, or America Ferrera, but this time played by Nico Parker, who was Sarah in The Last of Us. I've also seen her in a couple other things. Nick Frost is in this as Gobber. And you have Julian Dennison, who was the best friend in Y2K. The best parts, and naturally he didn't make it the whole way. Sorry. If you haven't seen Y2K, trust me, you haven't missed anything. Yes, another live-action adaptation right after Lilo & Stitch came out just a few weeks before. And much like the Lilo & Stitch live-action adaptation, this is pretty unnecessary. I mean, there are parts of it as far as scenery and as far as some of the performances that are fine for what they are. This movie will no doubt make a bit of money, hopefully a sizable amount of money, because apparently DreamWorks has already greenlit the sequel to come out 2 years from now. That's bold. Look, if you like the animated version and even the sequel, which to me, How to Train Your Dragon, which really should have taken the 2 out and just had the number 2 replace. Why didn't they do that? Seriously missed marketing opportunity. If you like the first How to Train Your Dragon, you're going to be torn on this. I've seen some that have lavished it with praise, and it's not bad, it's just painfully unnecessary. There are a few sequences as far as Toothless and Hiccup interacting, the flying, when he fixes his tail and does that stuff and everything, where it is what it is, but there's not really anything to spoil in this. I mean, I'll do a minor spoiler section, but there's not really anything to dive into with this because it's again just a live action adaptation. It's more stretched out. I think this is like an hour and 55 minutes before the credits start rolling. They do hint that they're going to end up doing a sequel, like I just basically said, that the studio had greenlit it. And the acting is what it is. Nick Frost gets to do a couple Nick Frost things. The dragon training stuff is a little more stretched out. We get a couple more scenes with some of the characters interacting with their parents. And not necessarily more backstory, but just a little bit of stretched out stuff. Gerard Butler, they made him look like Stoic from the animated ones. I'll give them that much credit. And Mason Thames continuing to rise as a young actor. It's going to be very interesting to see how he is in The Black Phone 2. I don't really know why they're doing that. But yeah, it will make kids laugh. Maybe if you were a kid when the first one came out and you see this, you might get some nostalgia. I like the first one, but it's not something that I absolutely loved. It's not something that I'm deep in the lore of. And I understand it's appealing for kids, but overall, this is just a live-action adaptation that's there. It's right on the level of Lilo and Stitch. It's certainly better than the Snow White adaptation, but that's not really saying that much. It's in theaters, likely going to be a runaway success, at least for a bit. But 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. So if you saw that, and you saw, if you basically have seen the or the animated one, everything that happens, every single thing from, Toothless's tail needing to be rebuilt, so to speak, with material that Hiccup uses. He's splitting his time between dragon fighting, as well as helping Toothless. Him and Astrid have a bit of a romance that really is beat for beat the same thing that you see in the animated one. And they find the dragon's nest. They have to take down the alpha. There's the hint about the mother piece of her armor because she got taken by the dragons. By the way, sorry, spoiler, because fuck you, it's the spoiler section. In the second one, it's proven that the dragons took her away, but didn't take her away and eat her. She's just their mother now, their Yas Queen, I believe. I feel so old saying that. Voiced by Cate Blanchett, and I could hear that woman with that lovely voice read me anything. Read me a cookbook. Moving on, let's just move on from that. Cate Blanchett is nowhere near this. I do say, even though Nico Parker is a good actress, a good young actress, I don't think her turn as Astrov is that good. Mason, I thought he was much better voice-wise, especially than Jay voicing Hiccup. Far less irritating in this version, so they got that right. And Toothless looks basically just like a glossier version of the CGI one. But it's so funny that they had a live-action adaptation where they had CGI dragons in the original, and then they have CGI dragons in this, and it's not... It doesn't feel alive enough. And even the battle with the Alpha Dragon sort of works, sort of doesn't. We get it where, basically Toothless and Hiccup, like fire up, and basically the others get the dragons together. And after Toothless gets kidnapped by Stoic, because Stoic is absolutely just bound and determined to take down this dragon nest despite not being prepared at all. And basically Toothless ends up saving Hiccup after killing this big dragon, because the thing that about the animated one that they described is, if you get they aren't good internally, so if you shoot something in their mouth, they'll blow up, which is what happened to the big Alpha. But then Toothless's tail side burned. They crashed into the ground, but he shielded him with his wings. He took these broken wings. He learned to fly again. He can feel so free. And he was able to save Hiccup, most of him. He lost his leg, has to have the peg leg and everything, much like Gobber. And him and Astro together, Burke has dragons and all that stuff. And yeah, look, by the time the live-action sequel comes out, if it's going to come out in 2027, the likelihood of me doing a lot of videos like I've been doing for the last number of years is limited. Basically, maybe it's a 20% chance, if that. But yeah, that's basically it. I don't really have anything to add about this adaptation because it just doesn't have any substance to it. Sorry, it just doesn't. It's just reciting, regurgitating, recuperating all this dialogue. It doesn't necessarily work. It just is what it is. It gets a C+ for at least some of the visuals and a couple things that they improved upon. But overall, it's just another live-action remake that just exists. So agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. Until we meet again, happy trails to you.